Stephenson, you're very, very welcome.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Girl, it's amazing to have you here. Before we get started, I actually want to tell the story of how this episode came to be. Because 2 days ago, this wasn't even in our calendars.
No.
I didn't even know you were going to be sitting on my lash bed. You, since the get-go of this podcast, have been one of the people that I really, really wanted to have on. Since the get-go, but you've been living in Dubai the past few months, so I was like, look, if it happens, maybe she'll come home, maybe she'll move home and the opportunity will arise. And then I saw you actually booked in for lash extensions, and no joke, I screamed. I was like, oh my god, it's meant to be, and I was like, I am taking this opportunity with both hands, and here you are.
So what's so funny, I was chancing my arm trying to book that appointment, and then I was like texting and I was like, hey, is this okay? And then initially a half an hour later you sent me lots of voices and you were like, oh my god, do you want to be on the podcast? I was like, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
oh my god.
I was like, poor Emma, she's probably home from Dubai, just wants a bit of a rest. And here we are Saturday morning, burning the ears off each other.
No, it was totally meant to happen. I really feel it was meant to happen.
Me too. So, before, I know you've had a whole fitness journey of your own. Before you went through your own fitness transformation, before your business Embody came to be, who were you? What kind of person were you?
Oh my god, that's such a mental question, because I actually can't even comprehend the person I was. Do you ever get you've taken such a a growth that it's you don't even recognize, you can't even comprehend it,
You can't remember being that person.
Yeah, well, do you know what I actually do? It's really weird.
Okay.
I remember, it drives me every day. It gets weird how much I'm connected back to who I used to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wish I could actually disassociate, but I can't really.
Do you know what? I think that comes with time.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I went through quite a dark time, going on. I started to come out of it going on 6 or 7 years ago, and I'm at the point now where it pops into my head. I forget what you've been through. I know because it's a little bit more fresher time wise for you, and you think, oh my god, I'll never forget that. But you do, it fades. It fades to the back of your head,
Yeah, 100%. I think that when you're in a growth kind of on a growth or a self-development journey, um like you can't remember, you can't forget where you came from, but sometimes hard when you actually have done the work to grow as a person, that it's hard when your past is kind of hey.
Yeah.
I'm trying to forget you. Bye.
But you ever get, and I think about this a lot, is part of me actually doesn't want to forget as well. Yeah. Because that is what makes me so grateful for the good things in my life is, there was a time when I wouldn't have had the skills to appreciate those things because I was so focused on the negative and negativity. Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, 100%. It's that, yeah, 100%. Um, like, if I was to even think back, say this time 3 years ago, and even I actually have a couple of friends that are where I was friends in school who I'm still friends with now, and sometimes they're like, how is this real life that you are just how have you come out of your shell that much, and how how are you doing all this, because of how different I am.
Yeah.
Because I was the most introverted, shy, insecure person. It was actually crazy.
And did something happen? Now you don't have to tell me if what it was, but did something happen that you went really introverted, or is that your natural personality?
It's my natural personality to just be, because I'm still heavily introverted now.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I literally am so introverted. Even all my clients will tell you that as well. I'm just a real timid person, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll ever get rid of that. But I work on it to try to put myself out there, for Embody and all that. But I don't think something naturally happened for me to be that way. I think it was always I was never confident, like say for example in my body, or like I was never confident, so I was naturally like the person in the back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like just naturally, like I would just always like, put myself in the corner instead of like in the front row.
Yeah.
That's why like I started the fitness journey, because I was like, is this gonna am I gonna be this way for my whole life, or like what needs to change? Do you get me?
Yeah. Absolutely. And before we talk a little bit more about your journey and the community you've built with your business Embody, what made you decide on a niche and only train women?
Um, Simply down to I felt I was most qualified in that area, and like I had like the niche I have is like it's a proper niche. That
Yeah.
I think it's like I can nearly like even I'm at the stage now where like people who reach out to us, like they're the exact people that we want to work with as well, because I think
Yeah.
they really know what we're about. And
Well, that is an amazing compliment to you, because that means you're attracting the people you want, by not even having to filter that out. The content you're putting out, the message you're putting out is obviously very strong and working.
thank you. Yeah, we like it's hard sometimes, because I feel like like in the fitness industry, like there's like a way for you to do things, nearly as such as like an underwritten way.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're really kind of going against that nearly, and bringing a lot of like emotion into it. But that's what our life is driven by, is emotion. Do you get me? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's all a big learning curve.
I love it. And with anyone who has a business, especially if it's an online business, that means you're going to be spending, especially in the beginning, you're going to be spending a hell of a lot of time online.
Mm.
It's something I've found in my own business that has just taken over. What's your opinion on social media? Have you found you've had to check yourself and say, okay, I'm really getting sucked into this world? Do you think the pros outweigh the cons? How has social media changed your life, or has it had an effect on your life?
So I think social media is obviously an amazing tool. Like it's such an incredible tool for even like yourself and like myself and any business owner or anyone who wants to get like their own message out there. Um, However, obviously there is like a whole set of negative sides to it, like between like comparison, or we've never been exposed to so much. It's really scary. Like our minds are always just like, you could be like, say even like yourself, you could be doing amazing, and then you have like millions and millions of people to like look at that, and you're kind of like, oh, like will we ever feel satisfied, or will we ever feel like happy, because there's so much there. Even on the fitness, like, oh my god, the fitness space on Instagram is just like, it's crazy. So I try to like, I have all my do you have all your notifications off?
Everything.
Everything.
I
Oh,
don't get. I don't know how anyone. My phone annoys me without the
yeah.
notifications off. I don't know how anyone has their notifications on.
It's so overstimulating, isn't it? Like you're getting pulled from every direction.
Yeah.
But no, I think social media is amazing. But I think that if you're gonna work off social media, you have to have a level of like self-awareness and like self-responsibility to like go onto it, post, do your thing, like, reshare your stories, like record content, and then off it, and like remind yourself daily that there's a whole life outside of it, and it's like to not get sucked into it. But it is getting more crazy and crazier by the days. Like,
Absolutely. And I think one thing I always think to myself is, when I see people who are like, I'll be replying to all messages tonight or something like that, and I'll be like, how do they have messages and they can just leave them there? Like, waiting. I'm really, really bad at that, and I need to respect myself more with that. But
yeah.
with me, I just think back to when I began, and I had nobody texting me for appointments. I had nobody inquiring about academy courses, because I couldn't have even dreamt of having my own training academy. I had nobody reaching out to me for advice, and I think to myself, who am I to keep them waiting? Because once upon a time, nobody was nobody was interested. So I think I need to find a balance. Do you ever think to yourself like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like even say for example, we like say like our clients and they all know, shout out to the Embody girls, we love you so much, but at the same time, like when you do have like, you know, hundreds of messages, like or whatever it is coming in every week, it's like you do have to be able to like say for example in your circumstance, give yourself work hours and unfortunately like outside them hours you do need to put your own foot down and be like, okay, you know, no one is going to die if I don't reply to this message until the morning time. Do you know? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
good point.
it's you know someone told me that before because I used to last year. I was swimming in anxiety with like a sense of urgency to get back to everyone straight away,
Yeah,
and it was like genuine as if someone was going to actually die if I didn't reply to a
yeah,
message. And it was literally killing me. So like I couldn't like think straight, I couldn't like eat, I couldn't like train because I was always just like at my phone on WhatsApp waiting for messages to come in. And like what way is that to live? There's no sense of control over your business or like yourself if that's the way you're kind of going on. So someone like I can't remember who it was. I think it was like one of my mentors or something was like it like you need to ask yourself, is someone gonna die when this message like if you don't reply to this message? And sometimes if someone say for example if one of the girls is struggling, I'll drop everything, hop on a call and like message of course. But if it's like a message that like it can be replied to in the morning or like in the next couple of hours, then the girls know that as well. And even I've noticed with the girls, like because everyone's so overstimulated, everyone is kind of like just everyone replies when they can, you know.
yeah,
Um, which is just hard when it's your job. It's an element of your job to try to manage it the best way you can, you know, and not like find yourself in like a ball pit.
yeah, absolutely. The next question I want to ask you is, do you read books?
I love books.
Do you?
Oh my god, I'm like a nerd. I love books.
I love asking entrepreneurs if, or anybody, if they
Mhm.
read books. Um, One thing I kept seeing when I was getting into, following different business mentors and motivational speakers is they all preach that all successful people read books. But I've come to know that's actually not the case.
Okay.
I
Good.
think that's a myth. I do think that's a myth. I don't know if it's something you're that interested in, but I just hear a lot. And then you're dealing with like public opinion, and I'm hearing like, oh, this person reads like, 600 books a year. And I'm like, well, I can barely get through one. But, so I know it's a bit of a random question, but I think it shows a lot about someone when they do read books.
Mm.
What are you reading at the moment?
I've actually revisited this book so many times, and I'm revisiting it because I feel like I'm going through like an early transition again. But
Yeah.
do you know Joe Dispenza?
I have heard that name. Yes.
It's called the book is called it's kind of what we're talking about at the start of the podcast, but it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Okay, I haven't heard of that book.
Oh my god, you have to read it. It's basically like say as an entrepreneur as well for yourself, you like definitely understand that like having a business is definitely like it's a self development game, isn't it? It's just
Yes.
like obviously you're learning like how to run a business, but it's also like you have to grow with that. Like, do you get me? Like you,
Yeah.
because you're definitely entered the space now where you have your podcast, everything's like going really well. It's like you actually, your business just have to grow. You have to grow as well.
Yeah.
So that book is basically like for anyone who like is really trying to like step into a whole new ritual, like new routines, basically a whole new person, and like kind of leave behind like who you are right now. And like for someone who's like, I'm so introverted, like I'm heavily introverted, so shy, so I've had to read it so many times just to be like, okay, you've got this, Emma, you've got this. But it's such an amazing book. Like it's teaches you kind of like when you're unfamiliar with doing things. Like, say for example, talking on social media, it's like that will never get any easier. But it's like if you don't do it, you're not like building that new habit and breaking the old one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I recommend it to anyone. It's such a good book.
I love that. I must pick it up.
Yeah, it's amazing.
How much of a factor has risk taking played in your life? I'd imagine, as you said, you're naturally very introverted. You've gone through a massive transformation in the past 3 years. What risks have you taken, if you can share any with us, and what factor have they played in your life?
Um, I take all the risks. Like I don't
Yeah.
even think sometimes. I think risk taking is like massive to the individual, because I think if you come back, like if you know your own work ethic, then you're gonna take the risks because you know that you're gonna do the work that's required of you to make that happen. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Whereas if you don't have faith in your own work ethic, and you don't believe in your own work ethic, then you probably won't take a risk, because like you'll be like, okay, what if I take this risk and I just, if all fails. But if you like as an entrepreneur, a lot of them, like, they know they're gonna do early mornings, late nights. They know they're gonna do everything they can to make their dream happen or bring their vision to life. So I actually dropped out my master's for Embody. My mom that like,
Okay.
what?
I'm sure you got a lot of head turns about that one.
Do you know what? My mom dad were actually really supportive of that decision, but I was more
Amazing.
so like, oh, so like I had a business degree. I got a degree in business, and then I went on to get a master's in marketing, and that was the same time that like I started Embody. Like, well,
Yeah.
it was like 5 months in, and it was just like hectic. I was also working full time as a manager in the gym as well. So I
Okay.
was doing a master's as a duty manager in actually Fife at Northside.
Yeah.
And then I was running Embody as well. And this is like back like what, like a year and a half ago, when like online coaching was only kind of like picking up, kind of like. So everyone was kind of like, what are you doing? Like that's not like, everyone wants in person training. No one's gonna do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially for females, because the way like girls like accountability in person, and
Yeah.
a chat as well. So oh yeah, I was PTing as well. So there was so much going on, and I was like, I have to drop something here. I was like, but I can't drop my job, because I was like, we need a job. And I was like, I'm not dropping Embody, because like it was so important to me, and I seen the vision for it. So I was like, right, you can either defer your masters and go all in, or you're gonna need to like stop either Embody or PT or whatever the case is. And
Yes. And I'm sure even subconsciously ending Embody was never going to be an option for you.
no, like not even in the equation, like.
Yeah.
And it was really hard, because like I had just started, so it was not like, it wasn't even at its growing stage yet, but I just
Yeah.
believed in it so much. Like I knew what I wanted to do. I seen like the vision I had for it, but no one else would see that. So when I was like trying to explain it to like, my mom, dad, and even like, my grandparents and all, they're like, what? What are you
Yeah.
doing? But yeah.
Well, I think you clearly made the right decision. I myself, I have a business degree as well. I had a great experience in college. I never planned on going to college to study business. I hated secondary school, and when I left secondary school education, I said I will be damned if I ever sit in another classroom on my own free will. But I ended up going back because I knew I wanted to start my own business, but I thought that any entrepreneur that had a business degree would have something up on me. So I said, how can I start a business without a business degree? 3 years in, I graduated last year, don't regret it at all. But the best thing I took away from those 3 years, all the hard work I put in, was that I actually never needed it in the first place to own a business. It's the best thing. Did I need to spend thousands and go to college for 3 years to learn that? Probably not, but that's the way I learned that lesson. And I, I I'm so grateful that I learned that lesson, that you don't need any type of qualification to own a business. You just need to have drive. So I think
100%.
you clearly made the right decision.
That's such a like an amazing realization, like, because I think people, even maybe like a little bit younger than us, that are like, I think I don't know whether it's like the world, like obviously the world we live in is so different to even when me and you were like, I like it's changed so rapidly, but like anyone who's like sitting there like post school or something, it's like you can build such an amazing business with no business degree or no qualifications and just a simple like vision and a work ethic. Like, that's all you really need, isn't it? Like,
Absolutely. That's
yeah.
everything you need. And one of the one of my favorite videos on your social media page is the testimonial from your gorgeous client Emma Kelly.
Oh, she's so amazing.
She is so clearly just such a lovely, lovely person. And I genuinely was moved because that video made me not that I already knew, but made me remember how many people, not just women throughout the world, are just accepting lives riddled with anxiety, doing the norm, going to a job they don't necessarily like, accepting the life that they're waking up to every day. And it just doesn't need to be the case. And she is someone who took a stand and changed her life. And she looks amazing, but it's the change on the inside that is so moving in that video. What's it like when you see those testimonials from your clients and knowing you've played a part in that change?
It's actually Emma Kelly. Shout out to Emma Kelly. Honestly, she's such an incredible human, and it's crazy because so many females can relate to what she said in that video. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
did.
yeah, you don't. We learn from Emma. Like she's so incredible, and like it's so emotional because I find that really hard. Like even in the fitness spaces, see Emma's story. We are exposed to so many. Like there's hundreds of Emma Kellys out there,
Yeah.
and it's very similar to my story and Chloe's story and even Amy Jones, her story as well. Um, and it's like fitness journeys and like the journeys that people go on, like self belief and self love and anxiety. We've never like this generation. There's so much struggle in this generation, like internally as well.
Yeah.
Like for like young females, like whether it's like body image or anxiety is prominent, like a prominent struggle.
Yeah.
And I think like I don't know whether it's because I'm in the fitness industry or because I like have conversations with like girls who are going through all these different like factors. Is it's so hard to like turn your nose at how much like I'm so exposed to how much crazy struggle is out there and how much people are going through, and it's like,
Well, absolutely. I mean, we see there's a lot of people who are incredibly brave and share their struggles on the likes of social media and different platforms, but you're firsthand actually talking to these women every day,
yeah.
and seeing it firsthand. And I'd imagine that can be very tough emotionally. Um, how do you manage that?
Do you know what it is? Like it is really tough emotionally, but what is hard is like it's hard for me, and I still struggled with this to this day, is to put myself out there on social media, knowing what I know, like being exposed to what I know and being exposed to what all these girls are going through. It's so hard for me to put up a video about like, just go into a calorie deficit. It's like it's so much deeper than that.
I was just gonna say it's
Oh my
so
God.
much more than that.
And of course, like I lost 30 kg. I know exactly how to go into a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Like I know what
And
I'm
I think
doing.
I've heard you talk about that transformation and saying I lost 30 kg. It's a very simple sentence. It sounds a lot easier than I know it was.
Yeah,
That's 30 kg. You hold 5 kg in your hand and times that by 5 or 6. It's a lot of physical weight. With losing the weight physically, what was it like losing the weight mentally?
so That is such a like a big question because you know like I've literally like invested like my life savings into like mentorships and
Yeah.
like crazy stuff last year to really tackle this like so like this is like even Emma's journey. This is I'm trying to make it stand with Embody because I know it's so much deeper than just like someone being like, yeah, just eat less and move more. Like, don't get me wrong, that's the recipe. That is the recipe. But when someone's so used to like all these limiting beliefs and someone's so used to like, you know, being the bigger girl or like, you know, again, like say like Emma, like a lot of anxiety and struggle, it's like you can't just tell someone like that, just, you know, here's a calorie deficit, off you go.
Yeah.
Like you need to show them what's possible. You need to inspire them. Like, you know, nearly like again help them unlearn who they are right now
Yeah.
and like relearn a whole new identity. Like and it's like how to bridge that gap. With that's what our message is like. I really don't like. Obviously, we're living in a generation of perfection, and it's crazy. But everyone is so looking at what everyone else is doing, and like everyone else is like, you know, perfect glutes and perfect abs, and
Yeah.
no one could even think, wait, what does the best version of me look like?
Yeah.
Like, what's my best version?
I was only watching a show, sorry to interrupt you. I was only watching I can't remember what it was, but this group of women in their 50s were talking about how they would not like to be a young person growing up in this generation because when they were growing up, it was like your battle was against you and the mirror, and that was bad enough. But now it's you, the mirror, and every other woman, every other man your age, you're comparing.
Wow, that's so powerful.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it all week. I was like, yeah. Imagine going back to. I mean, I'm 27, so I had a good few. Like my whole childhood wasn't about phones. I didn't have my first phone till I was like 14 or something, and now you see like toddlers with phones.
Yeah.
You know, it's mad. But yeah, I just thought that was really powerful because now it is, you know, you, the mirror, and the whole world.
100%. And like, see, even like in the fitness industry, that's what makes it really like honestly really hard to try to be like a coach that actually makes an impact because you're not only helping someone like with their own battle with themselves, but you're also taking on the battle of the whole of, you know, social media that comes with that. And that's why even we actually have we recently launched in January well just for our clients basically like, you know, like a route like a the same way online coaching works, but I actually got like a document made that like brings people back to themselves and like gets them to like map out their own self, like, you
Yeah.
know, like basically how do I describe this? It's basically like exactly what I did at the start of my fitness journey because I was like, right, I'm a real female, like I have a real female aesthetic, and I think a lot of girls do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, obviously on social media, we're only exposed to like, I think as well people don't realize. I know obviously social media is so broad, but we are still only exposed to like the top 1% of physiques in the world. Do you know?
Okay.
Yeah, like even though it's you see so much of it, you're still only exposed to like the top 1% of, you know, athletes and physiques in the world.
Yeah.
If you like go out shopping and stuff and you look around, no one's looks like what your social media feed looks like.
No.
But because we're consumed by it, it's very hard to forget that. So I think like a lot of people where they're going wrong in their own journey is that they're not focusing on what they can become. And I think we waste so much energy and like attention and focus on all these other people when like I know it's so cringy, but like we only have one life. Like we literally only have one body.
Yeah.
So it's so sad to think that people are just gonna spend so many like days, hours, months, weeks, years looking at everyone else instead of pouring all that energy into what they can become. And
Absolutely.
it's crazy. Like I wish I could just scream at like, you know.
And you are so right in that we only have one life. It sounds so cringe, but one thing I always think of now that I'm in a much healthier relationship with my body physically, um, is I think of how many stupid fad diets I've done and how my body suffered from that, like starving myself, you know, day in, day out, struggling to try and achieve what I thought was the perfect body. And it's just like, really, life is too short to be struggling like that, whether it's mentally, physically. Um, do you know what I mean?
100%. Like it always comes down to like we only have one body, and there is no definition of what perfect is. Like there just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I genuinely think if everyone gave themselves like 10 minutes of self-awareness every day, and just reminding themselves, like, and even like me as a coach in the fitness industry, obviously I'm exposed to so much like standards and perfectionism and pressure, but I know where I came from. I know that like, for me, like, losing 30 kg, it's like, if I can't make that good enough, then what type of advocate am I to like a whole group of girls if I can't say, you know what, girls, I've lost this amount of weight. I have like, you know, really, really worked on myself. If I can't accept that as like something, then how can I expect you to expect that as something,
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think that's what plays a part in being a good coach, is when you mess up, you have to be honest about it and you have to share that with your clients.
yeah, 100%.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, literally, like, and I think as well, like, I think fitness journeys are like, I think a lot of people underline fitness journeys, but actually like overall life journeys. Like I think like my fitness journey actually didn't start off as a fitness journey. It started off as like a personal development slash like self-development journey where I just seen this vision for myself, and I was like, right. I was like, Emma, like I was like, we're 30 kg, where I was nearly like, I was 93 kg at my heaviest. So I was like, right, we're 93 kg. I was like, we can't talk to anyone for shit. I was like, we're so shy. I was like, but I had so much potential. Like I literally like,
Yeah.
I seen this bigger vision for myself, and I was like haunted by it. I was like, oh my god, like I want to have a business. I want to do all these things. And I was like looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, that girl's not gonna be able to bring me to that place that I see for myself.
When you have a vision and a dream for yourself, it chases you, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
person, like, it really chases you. I think when you have a vision that you're not pursuing, that you know you want this
Oh
thing,
my god.
but you're not pursuing it, it's like,
Depression.
yeah,
Depression.
it's like a ghost. Like, I remember when, I was battling with depression and I knew what I was capable of. And it's mad, I always knew what I was capable of, but I haven't always believed that I was capable of it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a contradiction, but anyways. Um and that feeling when you actually start honoring yourself and respecting yourself and following what you want, that lightness that comes with it, and just getting rid of that, it's like a doom feeling. Have you ever experienced that, when you're not following, when you're not doing the things you know you should be doing, you're not working towards your potential?
Okay. See what you just said there.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is going to be so authentic, right? I'm going through that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So just like you said, have you ever heard this quote, right? It's like every day you choose, so every day you choose to ignore your potential is the day that you choose to suffer.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
such a powerful quote, and I think a lot of females are going through this right now where they have so much potential, or they see that higher vision, or they want to open a business, or they want to even just go for a job or whatever, right? But they do not have the confidence
Yeah.
to go and do that. So then with the inability to act, you're left in depression, and then that can result in emotional eating, self-sabotage, all that. Like it's a circle, isn't it? It's a circle.
It's a circle.
But yeah, I think that I'm gonna calm myself out here.
I love it.
But I think as you said here, leading from the front, you have to be authentic. But I definitely think so. I'm definitely going through a period where I know I have so much potential, and I've been at a stagnant point now since December. So that's a lot for me because I've been moving forward for like the last like 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's like I have so much potential with what I want to do at Embody, and I know the message is so big, and I know that, you know, it's not maybe the traditional route that fitness coaches go down, but I know there's so many girls that are out there just like me, just like you, just like Emma Kelly and all the girls we have on our team, and I feel like I'm failing them in a way. But at the same time,
Well, you're not.
I know I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
It's just new levels, new devils, and I've been on this like journey the last 3 years, and every time I, you know, go through a growth period or a growth sprint, it's like I have to climb over that wall of the next set of limiting
Yeah.
beliefs. And I've been doing that consecutively. But then when I got over to Dubai, I basically thought that like I was gonna just be able to, you know, spread my message to the world and
Yeah.
be like, you know, my authentic self on social media, and really, really spread that like message of what Embody is and who I am on my journey, and really try to reach like that wider audience. And then I got over there, and oh my God, I don't know what happened, but it's just like I just I couldn't break down that wall over there. Like I felt a little bit out of place. I felt maybe like a little bit in the wrong industry. Like I actually questioned the fitness industry over there. I was kind of like, oh, I was like, sugar, should I just go home and like you know, pack this all in? Genuinely.
This might be a difficult one, but and if you I'm gonna give my opinion on it, but if you think you're being extremely hard on yourself right now, if you were talking to another girl who's in your situation, moved what 8 or 9 hours away from home by herself, what would you say to her? You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm trying to be self-compassionate with myself.
Yeah.
In the situation, but
I mean, if I moved 9 hours away from home, I go away for a week. I miss home and I miss my family, and I don't feel complete. I enjoy the holiday, but I miss, you know, your comforts.
Definitely.
You know, and you went over by yourself with no one.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think I just like I've been like straightforward on this mission, and I feel like, say like people like, you know, people like me, like, you know, who were like a lot bigger and like not from even like, you know, middle class backgrounds.
Yeah.
A lot of insecurities. I really want to, you know, show myself
Yeah.
that I can go the entire way, because I really have this like belief it's like people like me can't get to places like that.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel this like responsibility to keep going and to, you know, really show what's possible. But I need to understand that I still am on my journey, and I'm still learning, and I'm still unlearning my limited beliefs and learning and unlearning. And again, every time you surpass like a growth spurt, it's like a whole new set of, yeah, devils, should we say, come at you, and you just have to climb over them. But that's, you know, just power and authenticity in saying that. And yeah, like, you know, we're just on to the next set of like just becoming who we have to become for this next chapter, you know?
Absolutely. Well, I think it's so important to, and it sounds horrible, but stay uncomfortable.
Oh my God, uncomfortable is not the word right now.
I have been uncomfortable for about 8, 9 months now, like consistently every day. And it does cause me anxiety, but you just have to stay uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable 24 hours a day, but every day is uncomfortable. And that's when you see you breaking down those barriers, moving forward, doing the things that you know you're capable of doing. You know, I always say, like, don't underestimate. I love hearing people talking about how to don't underestimate what you can do in 6 months, a year. You know, I think we're all capable of doing. What I like to do is write out my goals, look at them, and then I always am like, right, that could be done in 2 weeks. That actually doesn't need a year to do. Do you know what I mean? Do you think you underestimate yourself?
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone does, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's just about calling yourself out and saying, okay, I really don't need that much time, or I actually don't need that money to do that. I can just do that, and create it myself.
Yeah, 100%. See, the way to like that you write out your goals, do you ever like reverse engineer them?
As in, go back to, I heard you use reverse engineer on your own
Oh.
podcast, and I actually haven't ever heard that.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Right.
I'm pretty sure I assume, what does it mean anyways?
So I do this with all of our Embody clients, and I've done this with myself. And like every time I'm trying to achieve something, I'll reverse engineer it. So reverse engineering basically means you write out your goal, but you also you break it down by going backwards. So say for example, I'll give an example, right? So say for example, someone wants to um lose 10 kg.
Yeah.
So she will write like, I want to lose 10 kg. Then to reverse engineer it, you say, okay, um, like how will you feel when you lose 10 kg? You say,
Okay.
okay, I feel happy, really proud of myself, super confident, full of energy. Then it's like, okay, take a second to really, really like, feel that.
Yeah.
And then, right, what lies in the way of you not losing 10? Like, what's your obstacles? So that could be self sabotage. It could be no routine in place. It could be um I'm too insecure right now to actually go into a gym, so I can't start my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will follow that up by, well, how do you overcome this? So you overcome by putting a routine in place. You overcome it by getting the right support in place so you can confidently know what you're doing in the gym to like limit your gym anxiety. And I can't remember what I said for the next one. And then you basically like reverse engineer by bringing together what you want to do, what's holding you back, um like gluing, bridging the gap of like, because sometimes people always look at what their goal is, right, but they don't look at like why they haven't achieved that yet.
Yeah, so is reverse engineering kind of like having an action plan?
It's kind of like figuring out, it's basically like it having a toolbox. Like, you can't build a whole, like, say, counterpiece without having all the different like tools and elements that you need for it. So
Yeah.
it's like people have all these really big goals, but they're not looking at like what there's screws, where to put the screws in, where
Yeah.
to like,
They're writing them down and
there's no game
leaving it to
plan.
God. Like,
They're
yeah.
leaving it to God. There's no intention behind it.
Yeah.
If you like reverse engineer something, like you have written out, right, what I want to achieve, how I'll feel when I achieve it, why I can't achieve it right now, and then how to overcome that. And then like a little icing on top is like, do you ever like write like a little like letter to yourself? Do you ever do that?
Yes.
I always do that. It's like nearly like giving yourself, like, it's kind of like just like nearly, you're going to do it. It's really personal when you have written a letter to yourself, because you're like,
It's
okay,
such a treat then getting to read it as well.
yeah, I mean, like, oh my God, like, did I actually do that?
Do you believe in having a plan B?
No,
I'm the exact same.
no.
What's your opinion on that? Why?
Um, I think again it kind of brings back to the risk factor, where if you are gonna go all in on something, go all in on something. Like, I think it's more powerful and more like more willing to work if you don't have like in the back of your subconscious that there's a plan B. Um,
I say this all the time. I tell everyone I love, do not have a plan B. All it does is tell your plan A that it can fail.
100%. I
That's
love that.
all it does. Um, and I think, like, do you ever hear that saying, oh, don't keep all your eggs in one basket? I love all my eggs in one basket. I prefer them in one basket. I'd actually get really annoyed if I don't need two baskets. All I need is one.
I love that.
So that's something I feel very, very strongly about.
I think people need to believe in their work ethic more.
Yeah.
Like, so many people have a beautiful work ethic. Like,
Yeah.
and their own inability to act on it is genuinely what like leaves them. But you know what? That all comes down to confidence then, and
Yeah.
you know
Everything comes down to confidence.
every single like actually give you a laugh. Right?
Please, please.
So I actually got recently qualified as a confidence coach.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Neither did I. But
Oh
you
my
know
god,
what?
I need to become one of them.
Yeah, I sent you on the course, but like I swear, so like it's such a big thing that like actually, will I give you a statement? You can tell me whether you agree with it or not.
Yes.
Okay, so I think as a female, right, there's two forms of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So our inner confidence is knowing who you are. Okay, like knowing really, really to the core who you are, what your values are, what your mission is, what you want to do, you know, what makes you happy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where you want to go in life. That's your inner. So you know yourself, your soul, like,
Yeah.
And then your outer confidence is your shell.
Yeah.
So your physical appearance, your how you look, how you take care of yourself, just yourself, like being confident in the way you look and the way you present yourself. So that like obviously there's two forms of confidence, inner and outer confidence, and I believe it's like a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
So if we have, as a female, if you have if you have all the inner confidence in the world, okay, you know what you want to do, but you don't have confidence on your outer shell, even just a small bit of confidence, a fraction, you actually won't pursue anything because you don't have confidence in yourself. You like I see this all the time. And on the contrary, if you have so much outer confidence, right, you're the most perfect person in the world, you full confidence, you like are a perfect body, perfect face, perfect hair, perfect everything. But if you don't know who you are at deep to the core, like on a soul level, if someone like says to you, like, one day, like, say you put a picture and it gets like 2 likes, or
Yeah.
someone like your hair is out of place, or someone says, Jesus, like, you don't look great today,
Yeah.
then all of your confidence shatters because it's placed on how you look. But if you can find a little sweet spot where you have inner confidence, and then you not that you're perfect, but you can have the ability to take care of yourself, and look after your body, look after your mind, look after your physical appearance as best you can for yourself, then you will have, as a female, unshakable confidence to go after what you actually want to do. Like what you desire, your dream job, put yourself out there on social media. It gets so powerful, but it all comes down to having the confidence to do so. Like
Absolutely.
one without the other is just like a disaster.
Yeah. So that statement is saying that you need to have both. One doesn't cut it.
Yeah, but not to say that the outer confidence is like perfect, but it's just if you have vision, like a higher vision for yourself, and you like just want to like take care of yourself, you doing that will help you to be the person that you actually know you can become on an inner level. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.
Like, it's really hard. I actually said that statement at the Embody event, and like some people were like, and the amount of people that will come to me and say, like, I want to go after this job promotion, or I want to, like, even like, ask that guy out or I want to, I want to start a business, but it all comes from the confidence, and it's a massive, massive thing. Like, with confidence, you can do anything, like anything.
You can do anything.
Yeah, that's why I think fitness journey should focus on building confidence and not building like this perfection, like this. It's not. I'd rather someone come to me and they leave after, say, like 6 months full of confidence than being shredded and have no confidence to their name.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what actual development are you going to have, like deep self-development that's going to be long lasting in a 30-day shred?
Yes. Factual.
It's the only transformation is going to be physical.
100%.
And I think they're, they're good for people who it suits, someone who is confident and is happy in themselves, and they're, going off for a week or two and they want to look good. That will suit them. But I think what's happened is a lot of people who need like a long-term coach are turning to those kind of short-term solutions.
That's exactly it. Like 100%. Like, and even like for us, like, and even for me, I don't want to be shredded. I want to be like strong and like feminine and like, yeah, I want to be strong and confident, fit and feminine. I don't want to be shredded. So I'm like, how can I fit into an industry that like I don't even want to be there? Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, I have no desire to show up with a six pack, not none at all. Um, I just want to be like the best version of me, genuinely, and like fit and strong and healthy and
Yeah.
feel, feminine in a dress. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of girls, like, they don't want to be ripped. They want to be like, they just want to look slay, They want to be
The
confident.
buzzword.
Seriously,
Slay.
like we, like, that's not like even like Chloe and Amy, like, like they just want to work with their natural female body and they
Yeah.
want to put on a dress, slide into a dress and feel 10 out of 10 for
Yeah.
themselves and for their partner. And like, and chasing is crazy because, you could chase a six pack, right? And you could put a dress on and, you might not feel as feminine as you thought you would,
Yeah.
like, and you're always going to be chasing then, maybe a bigger bum or whatever the case is. But it's like, that's why it's so important just to trust your own values and, you know, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, Emma, from what I know about you, and I know we've pretty much talked about this already, but I want to ask the question anyways. From what I know about you, and it's something I love about you, is you're very it's clearly very important to you to leave your mark on the world too. You have a message, and it's very important for you to clearly spend your life driving that message into as many women, people as possible. Where does that drive come from? Why is it so important to you to spread that message and leave your mark?
That's a really good question. I think it definitely stems from, like, obviously only I know, where I've been in the past, and only I know like the battles that I've had to overcome to get to where I am now. And even like in my fitness journey, I know how hard that transformation was,
Yeah.
inner and outer. And I think, like, what drives me is like, if I can do that, like, I just don't know why anyone else can't.
Yeah.
Like, like nothing, like, I'm literally a girl from Colester, as I was saying to you earlier. It's like, people put people on pedestals that they think like that they like maybe have it worse, or like their insecurities are, worse. And it's like, no, girl. I said, like, mine were like, they took over my life for like 2 years. I was living in like anxiety and depression for 2 years. And I'm like, if I can genuinely do that, like, if I can overcome that, like, them inner and outer, like, shells, anybody can. And it just drives me because I'm like, it's like my passion to show as many people like that. I'm like, I am no different, and it's, they just need someone to say, take my hand, like, I've done this, you can do this. Um, and as well, I think as well, a lot of, like, just trying to remain as authentic as I possibly can in the fitness industry, which is really task. And like, that's my biggest challenge today, is just trying to stay in my own lane.
Yeah, and I've actually talked to a few people in the fitness industry in Ireland who have kind of, men and women, who've kind of said the same thing, that like they're almost struggling to kind of find their place in the fitness industry because it's changing so much. And I think trainers and coaches, I think your job has gotten a lot harder. And I tell you why, because it's no longer just physical, spending an hour with someone 3 days a week in the gym and you give them their nutrition plan and off they go and they follow it, and you know, you you monitor the progress in your check-ins. It's, you're almost becoming like a counselor.
Yeah, so it's actually crazy that you say that. So like, 100%. And like, I've actually never struggled to find my niche. I've always known my niche has been like, I've from the get-go, like, but I am struggling to, like, not be in the fitness industry, but like, do you know what? We're being authentic here. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like being in the fitness industry. Like, not because I'm not passionate about fitness. I love fitness and I love like training and nutrition, but I'm so interested in like the whole transformation side of it.
Yeah.
And I know how that just goes so much deeper than people outline it to be, and it really annoys me. And I don't know why. It's because I don't know if it comes from my own journey or what it is, but or because I'm exposed to so much like through the girls that I know that it's deeper than that. So I think I was saying like, I'm just creating my own. I'm creating my own space. I'm creating my own industry for people to walk into, just like Emma Kelly or just like me in the past, that have this safe space to like progress in their own manner, in their own way. And like, I'm just trying to block out all the outside. Like, I have my blinkers on now.
Well, that's it. I mean, if you can't find the opportunity you want, if you can't find the job you want, the
create
platform, create it.
it. Like, yeah, like we have some really big plans this year for Embody, and they scare me. Like, but ultimately, like, I don't actually want Embody to be known for just to be a fitness brand. I want us to be known for like to be like the ultimate like female transformation like station. Like, I want it to be emotional and vulnerable, and people to walk in there at their most vulnerable points and leave feeling the slayest, most confident, with like confidence I never thought was possible for them, like,
Yeah.
and for me to achieve that, I have to build what I know is needed, and it's just not out there right now.
And I know you're gonna go on to achieve everything you want. I fully believe in you. And do you know what I love is that your name is Emma and it's called Embody. Like, how meant to be is that? That your parents chose the name Emma for you.
Thank you,
And
Mom.
thank you, Mom. And I can't think of a better name for your business than Embody, because it's about embodying
The person
the person you want to be.
100%. And like 100%, like, I'm hoping this year to keep going on my qualifications and like keep like furthering on my education, especially in like the whole like mental side of it as well, and like the behavior side of it as well, and really bring it in, like, because with Chloe and Amy on my team, like they're two of my like past clients that I coached for a year each. I coached them both for just about a year each, and between the three of us, we've lost like 80 kg, which is
Wow.
crazy. And it's like, these are raw, vulnerable journeys, and it's like, I know with them, two absolute powerhouses by my side, that if I keep growing and they keep growing with me, like, what we're gonna build is just gonna be like, yeah, it scares me. But as I said, I've been at a stagnant point since December, really, because it's actually scared me so much what I want to do.
Yeah.
But again, like, even this conversation has helped so much, because I'm like, let's go. Like, I know I need to do this, and
Absolutely. And
I have to ignore all the six-pack ab pictures out there and know that there's a whole generation of women that need somewhere to go and a space to progress. And yeah, like, hopefully we can have it all very soon.
no, you will. And who inspires you? You inspire so many. You inspire all your clients. Who inspires you?
Do you know what? Like, I actually get inspired by like everyone I meet. Like, even you right now, it's so inspiring what you're doing, and even
Aw, thanks, girl.
you're so welcome. Even like the questions that you've asked me are so like, yeah, just raw and amazing. But I try to take inspiration from everyone I meet, because I don't believe in like a hierarchy of people. Do you know, I think like that everyone.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, and I think like that everyone's like undergoing their own thing, and everyone's trying to live their own life to the best they can. I think anyone who's out there trying to make a little bit of a change or a little bit different. And also, I think the most inspiring people are the ones who have the courage to be authentic in like on social media and in any industry that they're in, or like try to break a stigma down. Because I personally, hands on hand, know how hard that is, and it would definitely be the easier choice to not be authentic and to follow the crowd and to maybe follow the trends that you know are working. But when you believe in something and you're authentic towards it and you really try to create something that hasn't been done before, I think that takes courage, and it's really inspiring to see people just try to make a difference. Like, oh
To
yeah.
finish off, I know you've spoken so much. You've literally spoke perfectly about your business and your mission. If it could be summed up in a sentence or two, if this has come to be a kind of question that I ask all my guests about what's your life message? What sums you up? What is that thing that if you had something to tell, your clients, your girls, what would it be?
Okay, so I feel like my mission is, it's so funny. It's so broad that I still haven't pinpointed it exactly myself yet. So I'm gonna try my best.
It's all I can ask you.
So my mission would be to create a space that someone can walk into at their, most confused or their most insecure or their most vulnerable position, whether that's like physical wise, mental health wise, life circumstance wise, and have this space to explore their potential and explore stop ignoring their inner potential and have the right tools mentally and physically to carve themselves into the person they know they want to become, body composition wise, confidence wise, and then hopefully, obviously, that will have a knock on effect into their life and who they actually want to become. And to create a space that helps women that stop letting their current insecurities actually hold them back from being that person, because I really believe that people are controlled by their insecurities from being someone who was for 2 years. And yeah, I just wanted to like outline that whatever someone's going through right now, it's not your forever point, and you can completely rewrite your story, like change your narrative, and genuinely change the whole position that your life goes in. But it starts with starting the depth of it. You have to start with your insecurities. You have to start with all of your flaws and all of your biggest faults, like, demons, and lean into them. Lean into every single one of them. And that's what I'm trying to create. Body composition and being slay is a byproduct. Literally.
I love it. Emma, if someone wants to get in contact with you, if someone wants to start coaching with you, which I'm sure they will if they're not already after hearing this today, where can people chat with you? Where can people reach out to you?
So it's Embody Coaching on Instagram or EmmaStep_fit. And then we have Chloe and Amy that you can reach out to as well.
Amazing. Emma, you have been incredible. I'm so proud of you. You're doing amazing. Thank you for being so open, so honest today. And
thank you for having me on.
My pleasure.
And doing fit me in 2 days in advance.
It's my pleasure. I'm gonna finish off your lashes and then we're gonna have a look at the finished set.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Here is the before and after of today's finished look. We would love to hear what you think of today's episode in the comments. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next week.